Hi guys, welcome back to one of my videos. In today's video we're going to be talking about what you need to heal. So I know in a lot of different videos, myself included, you find that you can't do something or something's going on because you need to heal, and after that good things tend to happen. But I figured that right now, obviously things can change, but right now I wanted to do a video on what it is that you currently need to heal. If you feel drawn to multiple piles, then please pick both of them, because some people need to heal more than others. You need to hear certain things from both piles, and that's completely fine. With that being said, this is the first pile with the dragon, the second pile is the cosmic egg, third pile is the eagle, and fourth is the phoenix. Now take as much time as you need to meditate on which pile is calling for you, or multiple piles, and when you are done you can go into either the description or the comment section and click on the timestamp that is for your video. Okay, bye guys. Hi pile one. So I shuffle for you guys off camera. We're gonna start with the tarot. 6 of steles, the ace of steles, 7 of rings, and the 6 of blades. Okay, so with the 6 of steles, this actually talks about someone who kind of gives up. Like if you were to start into a competition and you're competing against someone and you see how good they are and it freaks you out, and you just figure out, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not gonna win, and you just give up essentially, because somewhere, I guess, rooted in your mind, you have been told, okay, you see someone amazing, you're not good enough, and your brain keeps telling you that you're not good enough as they are, or you're just less than everyone else. And so you put in all this work and hard effort into something, and you just give up last minute, you just fall through. And that is definitely something that clearly you need to work on. You need to tell yourself, even if you see someone better, or you see something that you think is better, and you're like, oh, I wish I could do that, just tell yourself that you can. Just be like, you know what, I may not be there yet, but I can always get there. You can always strive, you can always practice and work. So even like before you're doing something that stresses you out, or something you put forth so much effort and time, and you just keep saying, I can do this over and over again, and it may sound stupid, but it actually does help, and it brings you, because when you tell your brain something, your brain starts to believe it eventually, and then you actually can end up doing things and succeeding. With the ace of steles here, it does feel like you are having a creative block, like something is wrong in your creative life. So this combination might be something to do with art as well, where you put forth a lot of effort maybe into drawing or music or whatever creative thing that you're doing, and you look at that piece that you wrote, for poetry, or you look at what you did and you're thinking, this is terrible, but then you show it to someone else and they think this is amazing, but you just don't believe it. And I think what the real big thing you need to work on here is just your confidence. I think that you clearly have the talent, and just that your confidence in your back of your mind is telling you that you don't have it when you do. The 7 of rings talks about planning, right? So maybe you're having issues planning things out, or maybe you plan a lot of things out, and again, you drop them last minute, you're not following anything through. So it's like in this picture, you can see they're holding out like these weapons, you are self-sabotaging in a way. You're making this whole thing out, and you're like, oh, I can do this, and then last minute you pull back and you self-sabotage, you stab yourself in the back essentially. And it could also be from fear or anxiety or worry, or self-doubt, things like that are driving you to push yourself back and not allow yourself to actually move forward. With the 6 of blades in reverse, this talks about a lot of past trauma, but I can also talk about a lot of issues leading up to it, right? Obviously you didn't just decide one day that you weren't good enough. All these issues led up to it, right? And this shows that it's going to take a lot of work to overcome this issue, this idea in your head that tells you you're not good enough. But eventually you can get off this boat. You can move on, and you can actually be more confident in yourself if you put forth the work, telling yourself that you can do things, allowing yourself to follow through just once. Like, you know, like a practice thing. Maybe like take 5-10 minutes every day and just practice whatever artistic, creative thing that you're doing, or something else that you're doing that you're telling yourself you can't do, and just take that time and not even say anything negative. Maybe write something after you've done it, like, these are all things you like about it, you know? Because by telling yourself this is what you like, it actually makes you feel like stronger and better about whatever it is that you are doing. Moving on to the oracle. You have the cobra, the firefly, and the dragon. So with the cobra, it makes me think that maybe like you're striking out. So maybe you're like, you get freaked out, or you're you know, when you're doing something, you get really freaked out, and if someone tries to comfort you, maybe you strike out at them and you start yelling and putting up all these walls. Like, I feel like you have lots of walls up around your heart, and you're afraid to kind of let people in. For some of you. For others, this could just be you striking at yourself, telling yourself again and again that something is wrong. But I think for some of you, you do strike at others as well to kind of protect yourself, because maybe part of this issue is that you were hurt by other people, and they were and other people told you that you weren't good enough, and then you started telling yourself that. So I think that you're trying to protect yourself from failure, from feeling you failed, by just telling yourself already that you failed, or you're protecting your heart from those people who have hurt you in the past, because you think that maybe they're going to keep hurting you even if they're new people that you've never talked to. The firefly talks about burning out, essentially. It talks about having all this creative energy, or this like light or happiness, and it just kind of like being taken out. And again, I feel like this is one of those things where it's going back to that creative aspect where you need to just try. Just try, like, drawing something, even if, like, or writing something, or, you know, whatever it is, the creative thing, like, try doing that, even if you don't have any idea what you're doing. Just kind of go with the flow. Maybe even listen to music while you're doing it to kind of calm you down, because I know music tends to help people. Or put on, like, some put on some, like, candles, and allow the energy to kind of absorb you in a way. Just, like, put yourself in your room or something, and don't listen to anyone, or go on social media or anything like that. Don't compare your work, because I think that's a big part of the problem, is you're comparing yourself. So don't go to Pinterest and look at what everyone else can do, or YouTube, or whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish, because that's actually what's causing a lot of this issue in the first place, is your comparison. So if you just look at yourself and you compare yourself and be in connection with yourself, then you can actually see your progress and how you've gotten better over the time. The dragon talks about your third eye chakra, your intuition of other people, of things that are going on around you, of knowing something is going to happen, things like that. So I think what is happening is that your third eye chakra is being blocked, especially with the fact that you are coming at other people. I think that you're letting people into your life that are hurting you, and you can't tell when they are not in your life for the best intentions. And as well, you can't tell when people come into your life for good, because you're so hurt and you're so used to, like, closing in and blocking out everyone else, that you're not allowing the good people to come into your life as well. So I know, like, for different chakras, there are different musics and things that you can listen to online that help you, and you can do that if you feel like you should. If you want to, you can listen to something at night, and it's supposed to help you with your third eye chakra if you look it up on YouTube. You don't have to do this. This is just a suggestion, but it does feel like that you that some part of you is not seeing the bigger picture, seeing things clearly. And then we have the elephant spirit, learn from the past, right? So you need to obviously learn from your past hurt when it comes to those things, and try and be able to slowly help yourself move on from those things, and then know that when someone tells you maybe they didn't like that or they didn't think you were as good as someone else, let that kind of roll off your back, because it would be terrible and a shame if you got all this way and you healed so much and then one thing sets you all the way back. So after you are healing, or while you're healing, Spirit is urging you to learn and remember what you've been through so that you don't keep repeating it. With that being said, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this resonated with you. Let me know in the comments what you thought, or of any videos you'd like to see in the future. With that being said, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, group 1. Hi, group number 2. So I showed for you guys off camera, and with that being said, I'm going to start with the tarot cards. The first one that came out here was the Eight of Steles. So for this one, this talks about someone who spends a lot of time working, and for me, this feels like you are putting all of your energy toward work so that maybe you can avoid whatever is causing this need to maybe suppress your emotions or your feelings, or whatever it is that you need to work on and heal. You're spending so much time working, so you're not focusing or thinking about that. This could also be someone who really hates their job and but continues to work because they know they have to, but they're too afraid to go out and try something because maybe they've been told that they can't do it, or it's really hard, so they're stuck in this like mundane job they don't really like. So I am feeling one of these two things, or even both of them, can relate to your current situation. The next card that popped out was the Leader. And with this card, this talks about someone who has this struggle with judgment, essentially. Someone who is afraid that someone else is going to judge their actions, what they're doing with their career. And so instead of, they're kind of afraid, essentially, to come out of their shell, to be in the limelight. They want to hide in the shadows, and they don't want to essentially be noticed at all. And I feel like for some of you as well, some of you, again, because you feel this way, might not want to be in charge of things. You want to like let everyone else kind of take the lead, and you just kind of follow along. And this might be true in your job. Maybe you have this boss that you just let tell you everything, and you just say okay, and you do it, and it's kind of mindless, and you're not really wanting to speak your own mind. Even if something is bothering you, you just kind of like close in on yourself because you're afraid of rejection and of what other people might think, and you don't want to upset anyone, so you're just kind of like closing yourself in and pretending, or hibernating almost. With this Artist card out here, this talks about someone who has it's like almost toxic masculinity, or someone who is not very, who is more in touch with, should I say, their feminine energy versus their masculine energy. Now, obviously, you can still be a male or identify as one, but this is someone who is exhibiting the toxic or the bad parts of the male energy. Someone who is very stuck in their ways. You don't want to like change your opinion on things. You don't want to change, or you're afraid of that change almost. And it seems that this person, well, you might even have a bad relationship with your family members, or more specifically your dad, but it doesn't have to be, but it could very well be that you had a bad relationship with your dad or other family members when you were young, which led to all these bad habits when you got older, because that was what you learned and what you were taught. And so some of you might even have to fix or talk to someone in your family to start to feel better and to start to kind of let go almost, because you have this need to control things, because maybe you felt like you were out of control, or there were things in your life that happened that were really horrible and you don't want that to happen again, so you're trying really hard to kind of stitch yourself back together, but you're not allowing yourself to heal. You're forcing yourself into these situations that are kind of hurtful for you, and you're not allowing yourself the time to essentially cry it out. Almost like I feel like you're the type of person that's like, oh, I don't cry, which is really not actually healthy. It is actually better for you to cry, even if you can't do it, if anyone else is there. That is completely fine. You can go home and just, cry it out, or go out and like go to the gym and work out, because sometimes that makes you feel better, right? But this need of release, to allow yourself to release some of that anger, that stress, that sadness, that emotion, you need to do that, because I feel like you're holding everything inside and you're not allowing yourself to relax and to let things go, essentially. And that is actually very harmful right now. Speaking of which, the Page of Runes in reverse talks about someone who has a very bad relationship with their emotions, who doesn't know how to properly feel things and let them out. Someone who kind of, again, like I was saying, holds everything in. And you're being urged, obviously, to start off slowly and to slowly open up and to voice what you're actually thinking, instead of allowing other people to maybe say some things that hurt you and then not say anything about it, and then they keep doing it because they don't realize this is bothering you. And you have to allow yourself the time to kind of let everything go, because if you don't start off small, then it's going to be too overwhelming for you. With the Three of Blades, this talks about someone who has had a lot of heartbreak in the past. And I feel like this probably has to do with your family. It probably, this need and this idea probably started in childhood, and they've hurt you to the point where you don't know how to properly deal with things, almost, it feels like. And you can't, and this trauma, because you can't let this trauma go, it doesn't allow you to move forward. And I feel like that is definitely the place you need to start before you can start thinking about your career, or this need to impress people or to get everyone's approval. It feels like you need to go back to your home environment and to ask yourself why you can't be yourself. Obviously, if your home environment is something you can't go back to, then you can always just try and slowly, like, maybe write things down in order to let them go, like your emotions. If you can't open up and tell people, just write them down. Allow it to be released in some way or form. This can also talk about you feeling like your past, that you have messed up a lot in your past, and you can't allow yourself to make those mistakes and let them go. You're just holding them all in, like, well, I did this thing and I did that and that was wrong. And you have to allow yourself to forgive yourself and the people that have hurt you. And I know it might be hard to forgive those that have hurt you, but if you don't forgive them, the only person that's going to continue to be hurt is essentially you. Yeah. We have the Gazelle and the Cosmic Egg. So with the Gazelle talks about a lot of anxiety, probably due with the people that you surround yourself with, like your anxiety of like, oh, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Do they like me? And it allows you to have really bad sleep. So I think some of you might have insomnia or can't go to bed very easily because your mind is constantly racing about the day and thinking, oh, did I do that right? Are they okay with that? How, and because you're always thinking about that, you're not allowing yourself to properly sleep. So I feel like a lot of you might be even really tired and more cranky than you would be if you could get a good night's rest. So obviously this will get better as you slowly progress through healing yourself. But even right now, like, the best you can really do is set yourself a sleep schedule to kind of hope that maybe that will help. Even if you're already on it, maybe before going to bed, just kind of, again, write your emotions out and hope that the anxiety kind of goes with the writing. Some of you might even listen to music, because sometimes music helps, again. But that is what you want to do. With the Cosmic Egg, this talks about all your chakras, essentially. So in my opinion, it feels like a lot of, if not all of your chakras are essentially blocked right now, because you're kind of, especially like the root chakra, I know talks about anxiety, right? And the heart obviously is definitely been hurt because of, this picture, but also what this meaning is. So I feel like definitely your heart and your root chakra are definitely closed. But for some of you, there are other chakras that are closed for you as well, such as your third eye, because that talks about intuition. Maybe you can't figure out who's good and you let everyone in and they all kind of walk over you. But this can be about the other chakras as well. So it's probably multiple chakras, if not all of them, for each of you that are currently blocked that you need to go through and slowly work on and open up. Now, obviously, I do recommend starting at the root chakra and working your way up, because that's the first one typically people start with, if that is the one that's blocked for you, or one of the ones that's blocked for you. Now, I know on YouTube there are root chakra, now there are other chakra videos as well, but they're root chakra videos to kind of slowly open that up that you can sleep to at night. And sometimes even just listening to like white noise, which is, in a sense, that is actually helps with your sleeping issues, so that might just make you feel a lot better at night anyway. You can also do meditations and just have in your back of your mind what you are trying to work on. You can light candles, have music, different things like that that are really soothing to you. Maybe you have a crystal that you use. Whatever it is, I think you need to start allowing yourself to open up these chakras that are being blocked. Obviously, this will get easier as you go through the process of writing things down, of maybe talking to people, slowly opening up, allowing yourself to start to feel more. Whatever it is you choose to do, you definitely have a lot of healing, which will take a while to heal. And obviously, as you're healing, things will continue to happen and you'll need to heal those too. But I think that eventually you'll get into a better headspace and you will be a lot happier and better, and you'll feel better that you chose to work on them. Think on your feet, see the bigger picture. Right, so I think some of you are very closed off and closed-minded, and you're just thinking about like the current thing. Like, you don't want to think about everything because there's so much to think about, which gives you a lot of anxiety, so you're only looking at the small picture. Spirit obviously is urging you to look at everything, all the things that you need to work on and all the things that have happened, and just to think even how strong you are to have overcome that. But also, this talks again about allowing yourself to feel what it is that you're feeling and to not belittle yourself for feeling that way. Think on your feet. I think this is actually urging you to be more, to loosen up, right? Because I mentioned that some of you might have a lot of control issues. So this is like allowing other people to do something that you didn't expect, or maybe taking a trip that you didn't really plan out, but you're just gonna do it and you're gonna kind of go with the flow. Like, I think that part of this healing process, you actually need to just kind of go with the flow and to see where life takes you and see where spirit is urging you to go, or your spirit guide specifically, because they do want to help you. And I do definitely feel that some of you know that this is a big issue, because otherwise you wouldn't have found this video. And I'm glad that this video did come through to you, because I really do like having, because I feel like I'm helping in a way, and I'm really glad that you found this, and I hope this really helped. I hope this resonated with you. With that being said, let me know in the comments what you thought, if it resonated, different videos that you might need to watch, or things that you might want to help you along your way, or even just things that had nothing to do with this that you just kind of want to watch to get your mind off of it. And with that being said, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Hi, group 3. I shuffled for you guys off camera, so with that being said, I'm going to get right into the tarot. The first one that popped out is the Angel. This one talks about strength. So obviously it does feel like you guys have overcome quite a lot of obstacles and things that have hurt you in the past. And this also talks about being ready now to face them, which makes sense because you have come across this video, so you want to learn, you want to face whatever it is that is blocking you, but this essentially is what that means. The Four of Blades in reverse talks about not learning from the past. So I feel like some of you who obviously have come to this video like, oh, I wonder what it is that I'm being blocked, is because you haven't learned what it is, because you're kind of ignoring whatever it is that's happened to you in the past. And you're like, it wasn't that bad. But then it actually was bad, and it did have consequences on the way you see everything. So I think maybe you're underplaying whatever it is that is happening. And with the Nine of Blades, this talks about having a lot of restless nights because you're constantly worrying and thinking about things and all this fear and anxiety, and you kind of can't let anything go. Some of you might even kind of like tell yourself in a way like, oh, I deserve this. This is fine. I keep hearing that you just guys keep saying, this is fine. This is fine. It's okay. And like you're allowing all these things to happen to you, and you're just like piling more swords on top of each other, and you're like, I'm used to it. It's fine. I can carry more, and you're just allowing yourself to carry more and more things, and more things are entering your mind, and they're not leaving you, and yet you're like pretending like everything is okay, and it's not. And I think that you guys need to take better care of yourself. With the Scientist in reverse, this talks about someone who doesn't want to take responsibility for things. So I think that you guys have a very childlike heart, and you want to experience the world, and you want to do all these things that are fun, but you're not taking responsibility for maybe your past, or for what you're not allowing, obviously, to acknowledge what has happened to you in the past, or what other people have done to you, or what you've done essentially to yourself, and you're kind of ignoring that, and you're ignoring your responsibilities to essentially take care of your mental health. This could also be your physical health, because this talks about physical health as well, but I think it's probably more mental health because of this video, but you never know. And essentially you're just like going with everything and in the flow, and you're just like kind of cruising through life, and you're not taking the time to heal all the pieces that are broken, and which is actually causing more pieces to be broken instead of small healing little bits in there throughout your life. You're gonna have a lot bigger, lot more to heal, essentially, a lot bigger of a pile or something to work on, because you're kind of ignoring all the small pieces or the cogs that fell out along the way, and now you have a whole broken heart, essentially, and you have to figure out how to put it back together. So, that being said, the eagle and the beaver. The beaver talks about someone who essentially does not work hard. Well, I mean, normally it does talk about working hard, but because this is what you aren't doing, or what you need to heal, it's like essentially this idea of hard work. So either you're not really working hard at all, and you're kind of cruising through life, like I said before, or you're working too hard, and you're not allowing yourself the time to relax. Or even just like working at all these things and not even, or allowing yourself the time to think about all the things that you need to help, right? Which is why at the end of the day, that's all you can think about, because you ignored it for the good part of the day, and now it's late at night and you can't sleep because you didn't take that time to think about things, or maybe you ignored speaking up for yourself, essentially, when you're talking to someone, and you're like, oh, I don't want to start a fight, it's not a big deal, it's fine, and you think things that kind of roll over you, but they actually, they don't, they stay with you, but you're not allowing yourself to acknowledge that part of you. With the eagle, I see that some brilliant light has essentially gone out, and you're in this hiding, this darkness. Like you're hiding maybe who you are as a person, you're hiding your pain, and I feel like you're hiding your pain from yourself as well as from others. And so everyone thinks you're fine, and you're like, I'm fine, but then you're having all of these health issues, right? Like your sleep, which is causing maybe you to be just unhealthy overall, and now your body is like mad at you because you're not taking care of your mental health, and when your mental health fails, your physical health starts to fail as well. And I feel like because you're not taking care of yourself properly, everything is falling apart, but then you just keep saying, it's fine, it's like not fine. Stop saying that. The turtle, slow and steady wins the race. So for me, this tells me that you need to slowly work on whatever it is that you are suppressing. You need to just find one thing that you're like, okay, I know I'm ignoring that, I need to work on that, and just start there. And then work your way so that in the future, you have essentially healed that part of your brain that suppresses whatever negativity or things that are bothering you. Like, it goes away, and you're not suppressing anymore, and you're just dealing with it right away. Take the lead, right? So obviously don't wait to take care of yourself until you have that mental breakdown. Take the lead, start off, and help yourself. This could also mean that maybe some of you, again, you don't talk to people, you don't tell them how you feel. Take the lead, be direct with them, be like, this is how I'm feeling, this is what is happening, I'm bothered by whatever you said, or I don't like that you did that, or whatever it is. Like, don't hold back, because I know a lot of you are. Tend to the small things, right? Which is just essentially what I said with the turtle. Tend to the small things. Like, don't ignore all the small little itty bitty things that happen to you. Deal with all of them, because whatever it is that's bothering you, it can be very, very small, but it's still making a great big impact. So it's obviously for the best if you don't ignore the small little teensy details of like, yeah, that kind of bothered me, but I'm gonna ignore it. Like, don't, because obviously even this mouse is still big enough to weasel its way into your home, into your head, and then everything starts to fall apart because it can just stay there for so long, and then eventually things start to get ruined, right? You see clearly now. I think that after you start to heal and you start to allow yourself to stop suppressing things, this blessing is honestly going to come in, and it's like you have very good third eye chakra. You can see clearly, you have really good intuition, you can tell things because you worked so hard at being able to tell them, that now it's just very easy for you to pick out things like, oh, this person is going to help me, this person is someone I want in my life, this person is not. And you can just tell these things now instead of waiting until things have really hurt you. You can just know, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to leave that negative energy in the past, or I'm going to leave that negative person and I'm going to go hang out with someone else. And I feel like you can really tell now, and this is like a really nice blessing that's going to come from all the work that you're going to do on not ignoring things that come along. With that being said, that is the reading for you. I hope that this resonated with you. I hope that you liked this video and are really happy to have this confirmation. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments, or what kind of video essentially you want from me in the future. With that being said, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Hi, group number 4. So I showed for you guys off camera. So with that being said, I'm going to get right into the tarot. So right off the bat, we have the 3 of Blades. This talks about heartbreak. So I can tell that a lot of you have had your hearts broken quite a bit, maybe just one really bad one in the past. This could also talk about being really hard on yourself and not allowing yourself to make mistakes, and just constantly belittling yourself for those mistakes, and you can't let them go. But it's also, about people. So this heartbreak obviously can come from any number of people, romantic, platonic, familial. It doesn't matter, but your heart obviously has been broken quite a lot. This could also talk about working on your heart chakra. Maybe it is closed for some of you, and because you're not allowing yourself to heal from that. With the 2 of Rings, this talks about this duality, essentially, of showing the world this, white, horse, this white mask, and essentially hiding your black self, right? Or vice versa. So this actually does mention yin-yang symbolism. And it feels like some of you are only showing the world one part, the yin or the yang, and you're not allowing everyone to see both sides of who you are, or you're maybe even showing the world what you think they want to see, because you're afraid that you're going to get hurt again. So you have these walls up, not allowing everyone to see who you are as a person, and to, because essentially you feel like they won't love you if they know who you are. So you're just hiding instead of allowing the benefit of the doubt, and believing that people could love you. You're just telling yourself they can, and you're not letting anyone in. With the Six of Steles, this talks about giving up. So I feel like, again, you're giving up on people. You're giving up on relationships. You're just giving up, and you're telling yourself, no, this isn't going to work. People aren't going to want me. People haven't wanted me in the past. And you're just giving up prematurely. You're just allowing yourself to kind of hide in on yourself, and to blend in the darkness, and not speak up, not say anything at all, because you're afraid of what people are going to think about you, what people are going to say about you. You don't want your heart to get hurt again. And this also talks about giving up when it comes to competitions as well, or maybe you're working really hard on a project, and then all of a sudden you make one mistake, and you just essentially throw the whole project out because you're like, no. And you're putting so much pressure on yourself to be perfect in every way, perfect person, perfect, son or daughter, perfect, whatever it is. Like, you just want everyone to see you as this, like, perfect person, and you don't want anyone to see your mistakes, or parts of yourself that you don't like, that you think is ugly, or parts of yourself that other people haven't liked in the past, and you're just kind of trying to erase all of your flaws, which in turn is actually putting a lot of pressure on you. It's essentially causing you to have this breaking point. With the Six of Blades in reverse, this essentially tells you that you've been through hell, essentially. You've been through so much trauma, and you're going to have to keep going, because you're not allowing yourself to heal. You're not allowing yourself to dock the boat and get off. You are kind of staying in this negative headspace continuously. If you allow yourself to kind of slowly heal, or be like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna work on this one thing, then you can finally see the horizon. You can get off, as long as you keep slowly working on it. But if you are allowing essentially the waves to crash over you, and to feel like you're drowning every day, and not allow yourself to try and swim out of it, you're going to drown. You're going to drown in all of your insecurities. And you're not going to feel any better if you just keep yourself in this headspace. So obviously you do need to work on one thing, because it does feel like there's a lot of past hurt here in this group. With the Creator, this talks about understanding. Like, it talks, I feel like you guys know what's happening. You know in the back of your mind that you're allowing this pain to essentially control everything, but at the same time you're not allowing yourself to heal. And some of you might even have issues with travel. Maybe some of you don't like boats, for instance, right? Because there's a boat here. Maybe you have motion sickness, or you have bad issues with traveling. Maybe something horrible happened to you the last time you took a trip. Or maybe you're just afraid of something breaking down. Either way, I feel like there's like some kind of issue when it comes to traveling. Or obviously there's another issue when it comes to allowing yourself to heal. Maybe some of you feel like you don't deserve to heal because of all the past mistakes that you've made. Maybe some of you are telling yourself that you deserve whatever this is that's happened to you, and you don't. Don't let whatever it is, or whoever, told you that, or even if it was just yourself who told you that, don't let that kind of encompass you. Here we have the Eight of Runes in reverse, and this talks essentially about bad relationships, heartbreak and pain through relationships, ending your relationships. So it does feel like the big reason why you have the Three of Blades here is because of past hurt within a relationship, whether it was a family, a friend, romantic partner, or all of them, combination of them, it does feel like there is a lot of hurt when it comes to relationships, which is why you're trying so hard to be perfect, because you think that that's what everyone wants. The Five Steles in reverse, this talks about someone, I mean, obviously you, but this talks about you being more aggressive, like being like really quick to jump on things. Like, I feel like because you've been hurt and maybe someone says something, you know, like it triggers something because you're not allowing yourself to heal. And so you're always on this like this edge of like of leashing out, you know, and then you have to like pull yourself back. Like I can visually see you guys like yelling at someone, realizing what you did, like covering your mouth and like, oh my god, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry, I just had a bad day. And then try and kind of cover it up and be perfect again, because you're like, oh my god, my crack, like there's a crack in my exterior, my facade. I can't let anyone know that I'm human. I feel like that's essentially what you're doing, and that's actually, again, like really bad, like, because of all these, like, it feels like you're not allowing anyone to know you at all, and it's actually a very lonely life if you don't let anyone in. So definitely Spirit is definitely encouraging you to slowly open up to maybe the people that you trust the most, or to go back to whatever relationship this was. Maybe it was a family relationship and you can talk to them, or maybe, you know, it's someone you can't talk to anymore, but you can still write down whatever it is that you are feeling and allow yourself to kind of to feel these things and to think about them. But then also, when the time comes, you have to be able to forgive your past mistakes and in a way forgive them. Obviously, even if they don't deserve it, you should forgive them, because it actually makes your healing easier. Because if you don't forgive them, then it's harder for you to open up and trust other people. And even if maybe the next time you have a relationship that is real, maybe just like tell them how you're feeling. You know, don't let them think that maybe you don't like them or you're closed off to them, or let them know why you're holding back. Because I feel like some of you will start to hold back even if you do open up to people and you're holding back, and you need to let them know, like, hey, it might be a while before I open up to you completely, but know that it's not you. Because eventually I feel like some of you will be able to, hopefully most of you or all of you will be able to open up to someone. It just is going to take a while for you to heal those past issues and to know that not everyone is going to hurt you in that way, and you don't need to hide who you are. The Phoenix. So with the Phoenix card, this talks essentially, I feel like your wings have been clipped, like, and you can't soar anymore, and you're just stuck on this ground, and you're allowing your past to essentially envelop you in this fiery energy. This talks about needing to heal from the past, which makes sense from everything I've said. This talks about needing to work on your root chakra, which mentions anxiety. So maybe you have anxiety again about opening up, or about what people are going to say to you, and you're letting that kind of envelop you or overtake you. So it does feel like you guys need to work on your root chakra, and you can do that by maybe listening to root chakra meditative music at night when you go to bed, which is available on YouTube. If you search it up, you can get out a candle and kind of like do meditation and kind of tell yourself, like, I want to release my anxiety, I want to heal from the past, and you like whatever you need to like have like a mantra, or just think about it, you know, and imagine everything kind of just like flowing through you and out, and like imagine essentially letting things go. You know, whatever you choose to do, I'm sure it will work for you. It really is personal preference, but it does feel like you need to work on healing your root chakra. So first thought when the crow popped up was essentially that you're hiding in the shadows, right? Because the crows, they tend to watch and observe. So I feel like a lot of you are watching and observing other people, seeing what they like in other people, and maybe putting on this face, right? And being like, yes, this is how I act. And then you put on a new face for the next person you talk to, because you know what they want to see and what they think is essentially ideal or perfect. And it feels like that's what you're doing. And, you know, like this colorful ball right here is like all the personalities that you're showing everyone. But as you can see, it's kind of overlapping, like the yellow and the red are kind of overlapping the green. I feel like the green is who you truly are, and it's kind of in the hiding and beneath it, slowly opening up in cracks, you know, when you break or start attacking, verbally attacking people, right? Like, I feel, that's what that shows. And this also can talk about having blockages in your psychic abilities. So some of you, obviously, you guys like tarot, you're here. Some of you might be tarot readers or identify as a witch of some kind, and it feels like you are having this blockage in your psychic abilities. Or even if you don't think that, maybe you have abilities and you just don't realize it because you never tried, and you're kind of like the warlock in reverse, which would be, the magician in reverse, but in this deck it's called the warlock, where you are very powerful, but you're kind of suppressing those abilities. And I feel like maybe some of you are doing that on purpose because you know that most people find this not ideal, or most people don't really understand. And so you're trying to be like, well, people don't like this as much, or, you know, the people that I hang out with don't, so I'm just going to pretend like I can't do it, or hide from it, or just stop doing it for a while, you know, until I feel like I can, or, you know, maybe I just do it in private, right? So I feel like you're kind of blocking or worsening it. This can also talk about having blockages in your third eye chakra, where you have really bad intuition currently because you're obviously choosing people who you can be fake around. And it doesn't matter how kind they are or how terrible they are as a person, you are picking out those people that you know right away what they like, and that's actually kind of hurting you, you know, because you're not picking people who you would like, or who would like and hang out with you. You know, I feel like because you're being so closed off, like it's actually causing you so much pain. And with the bat spirit, this talks about every birth is assured. So again, I feel like this is like a little confirmation from spirit saying, if you work on some of this, if you keep working on it, you're going to essentially have a death, quote unquote, and a rebirth. Obviously, death in the tarot doesn't really mean death. Like, it means that you're letting all of this past issues and your duality and fake faces, essentially, you're going to leave it in the past. You're going to be like, you know what? From now on, I'm going to be confident. I'm going to love myself, and I don't care who doesn't like me. I'm going to, you know, I feel like that's essentially what is assured. If you work on yourself, you will stop caring what other people think of you, and you'll let that go. You'll shed that skin, essentially, and you'll be able to fly again. You know, your wings will no longer be clipped. You can be reborn, like the phoenix is, and you know, and you can have this fire and exhibit it and be like the confident Leo. I'm not sure if you're Leo, but like you know, like Leo has this amazing confidence, and you're like, you take that in yourself, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna be confident. I'm gonna let everyone know who I am, and who cares what everyone else thinks? Because I'm now gonna have my own people. You know, people that love me and care for me, and I love them, and we're going to be happy. Like, you're gonna have this full energy, I feel like, because like typically with a rebirth, you start at the beginning, right? And the Fool is the beginning, and the Fool just kind of does whatever, and they go with the flow. And I feel like you're gonna have that after you work on allowing people in. So with that being said, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this resonated with you. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Also in the comments, if you can tell me things that you would like to see in the future, that would be very helpful for me. With that being said, I hope to see you in the next video.